What is up, gang? Welcome back to another live. I am live broadcasting from a one-to-one coaching call or group coaching call with my ladies inside of my coaching program. What we do every Friday, we have a group coaching call. So today we're going to be talking about eating on the go, strategies, fast food. What does it look like? How do we order things? This is going to be about 15 minutes of me chit-chatting. And for the ladies who are on our group coaching call, for future notice, for those that do not know, make sure if you do have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand to ask questions here. Everybody on Instagram, if you do have questions, please drop them in the captions and comments as we go, because at the very end, I'll talk for about 15 minutes and then I'll get into a live question and answer for another 5-10 minutes, depending on questions, and then we'll go from there. So as we start off, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, because if they get answered, they get answered. But I will start from the very beginning and work my way down. So the sooner you leave your question, the better, the more likely it is to be answered. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen for my ladies who are on my group coaching call. And if you're now joining on Instagram, just so you know, what I do with my girlies is we have weekly meetings where we do trainings, some guest speakers, some fun stuff. So for everyone in my group coaching program, they are seeing my screen with the PDF that I am sharing. If you would like access to this PDF, comment the word, what should we say? Just comment the word PDF, comment PDF, and I can send you that PDF directly. So for the ladies on here, I'm sharing my screen and let's dive in, baby. So really this whole conversation, I want to make sure that you understand, like, of course, fast food should not be like your number one choice when you are trying to lose body fat and build muscle. The reason why is because a lot of these foods have a lot of excess calories, excess fats, and so it can be really not great for your fitness goals trying to stay in your calorie deficit, especially considering the fact that a lot of your calories should more so be coming from, not more so, but mostly like 30-ish% if you're in my program, should be coming from protein, versus a lot of the calories coming from just the fats and oils and a bunch of stuff. So I get it. I want you to understand that even though fast food is not the number one choice that you should be making, I understand that it happens. And sometimes, like, we're busy, we're working, we got to manage the house, the relationship, the fur babies, have a clean home, make sure you're getting enough sleep. Like, I get it. And sometimes nutrition is put on the back burner for the other things you have to do, especially when you have kids. So I understand, but I want to make sure you know how to navigate it well. So let's talk about things that I think are going to be really helpful for you. First things first, when you are out to eat, really anywhere, but especially for when you're out to eat at a fast food restaurant, I want you to think about trying to have a balanced meal. What do I mean by balanced? What I mean by that is have a balance of protein, carbs, and fats, so that your meal is not just another one of those carb-loaded, fat-loaded meals. We want to make sure we've got protein in there to make sure you stay satiated. And of course, carbs and fats are likely going to be there because. But keep in mind too the types of fats that are being used here. When we're talking about fast food, usually they're using like vegetable oils and that type of thing. But if we're at like Chipotle, or what's another place like Bibi Bop that has avocado, that would be an example of a good healthy fat to add to your meal. So we'll talk about how to construct the meals in a bit, but think about what kind of variety could you have in this meal. So it's not just one item. Think about things that have a good mix of fruits, veggies, lean proteins, whole grains, the whole lot, and try to minimize things that have as much sugar as possible. So like your large milkshake with Oreos is like probably not the best choice, but also thinking about like really refined things. So tater tots, nachos, like those in fast food form when not like made at home, which I have tater tots and nachos and stuff that I make at home, but I make them differently so that they actually fit my goals. So keep in mind the types of items that you're getting. The next thing is portion size. This is super huge, especially because for the most part, whenever you're out to eat, literally anywhere, the portion sizes are 2, 3, 4 times what you're actually supposed to be eating. So keep in mind what your actual portion size is supposed to be. A typical portion size is like the size of your palm for protein, like about 3 to 4 ounces, depending on what type of food we're having. So if you get a, I don't know, triple cheeseburger that's got 3 of your palm servings, do we really need to be consuming all of that? Or could that be something that we cut in half, have, and still enjoy, but strategically not overindulge in that? So especially like they don't do supersizing anymore, I don't believe, but avoid the supersizing or upsizing the meals, as they usually come with larger sizes and excessive calories that will hurt your goals. The other thing with this is the portion sizes. Rather than thinking about your gigantic cheeseburger and fries and the soda and a shake, we could pair that entree with a side salad or a fruit cup or something other than the fries, especially because most French fries tend to have like a shit ton of calories without actually giving you much nutrients. So a great way to do this too, if you really still want to have some fry and like curb that craving, like I'll talk about a specific example meal, but the first thing coming to mind would be like a grilled chicken sandwich. You could get a small fry and save half of it for later, have some of the fries so you get a little taste, or even a kid's fry. I love the hack of using kid sizes for stuff. So kid fries, and then also thinking about like your fruit cup, what other kind of sides. You can get water at these restaurants to drink. Let's move on. Ooh, the other thing is being mindful of your sauces and hidden calories, hidden sodium. So condiments, sauces, dressings, your Big Mac sauce, keep all that stuff on the side and really try and get those things on the side instead. And when we're talking about your protein options, it's really important to make sure you're not getting the hidden calories of, say, a fried chicken sandwich, and instead you're doing something like a grilled or baked option. Like at Subway, if you're gonna get chips with your meal, try to do the baked chips over the really oily fried ones, or maybe the zero oil, zero fat chips as a side with that. So just think about what is in this specific item and what other options does the restaurant have that I can swap that with to still get what I need to get, but try and limit the calories. So dressings on the side, make sure we're getting grilled or baked foods. Hey, Laura, I'm gonna wave at you. And I see Kim, my client, is also on the live too, so good to see you. So everything on the side, grilled or baked proteins, and make sure your portion sizes are actually a portion. So for the people who are my girlies, my clients, I really want to share this image because a lot of the time what you get at fast food is way more food than you really need. Typically it's like that half a pound cheeseburger, or sometimes, you know, the double quarter pounder, is a half a pound. So that plus a bunch of French fries, whatever sauces like Chick-fil-A sauce, Freddy's sauce, ketchup, honey mustard, all of that kind of stuff. Excuse me, for the benefit of the people who are on Instagram watching this live, my girlies are actually able to see my screen, which has the difference between literally 1,300 calories and 600 calories, which is half the meal, but still gives you, 30 grams of protein, rather than like the 60 that you would have gotten from the full meal. You're still getting 30 grams of protein in your meal. You're not overstuffing yourself, and you're being mindful of the amount of food you're actually putting into your body. The other thing to think about is the food type. I want you to prioritize whole foods. So look for menu items that contain minimally processed ingredients. This would be stuff like veggies, fruits, lean meats. So avoiding things like your French fries, because they are going to have way more calories for your buck, because they're mostly carbs and fats. There's not a lot of protein in them. So instead, I would recommend like that Chick-fil-A grilled chicken sandwich. You know, they're going to have, yes, they'll have bread, but they'll also have grilled chicken. They will have fresh tomato, fresh lettuce. Like those are the types of foods you want, versus like something that came pre-made in a box. So try and look for that. Like that's why salads, wraps, and bowls, think color. If it's all like a tan color, probably need to add some fruits and vegetables to make it a little bit more whole. The other thing too is added sugar is super huge when you're going out to eat, which sugar, as we know, impacts our bodies, especially when trying to lose body fat. But the big thing with this is the added sugars, are adding extra calories, and for a bunch of other reasons, you don't want to have a bunch of sugar. So check the nutritional information beforehand, which we'll talk about here in a sec, but especially thinking about in your mind, like, what's your usual go-to? If your usual go-to is your Oreo shake and full regular Coke with your meal, think about maybe the unsweetened tea option. Or instead of your, hey, what's up, Marlon? Good to see you. Instead of your soda, you could even just get water, unsweetened tea. Sometimes they have more low-cal beverages there too. I love to do the water with lemon and honey. You can get a honey packet and then just put a little bit of salt, a little bit of lemon juice. Like, you already know, that's my vibe. But I'd also say too, if we're wanting to watch sugar, you know my thoughts on diet sodas, but your Diet Coke is going to have 0 calories and 0 added sugar versus your regular Coke, which has 64, I think, 60 something, somebody fact check me. I know it's at least 16 teaspoons of sugar inside of a Coke, so that can save you a lot, even just from going regular Coke to Diet Coke, just specifically talking about calories, cool, and sugar. So, of course, we know sugar is in fruits as well, but the sugar that's in fruit, fructose, processes so much more naturally, and what you don't consider when you have fresh fruit is also the fiber that comes with it. We talk about not keeping your carbohydrates naked, right? Making sure your carb intake has something like protein or fats to help you digest. So with your fresh fruit, it comes with fiber, so you're already helping to mitigate that blood sugar spike while having fresh fruit, instead of something like a sugary yogurt, like that Go-Gurt that I had as a child. Criminal to give to children, by the way. Like, think about the sugar content, okay? Yes, and then we talked about this already, but lean proteins are your friend. Grilled or baked, chicken, turkey, fish, beans and tofu. You don't want to like go out and get fried chicken. Sorry, that's just not great for your goals. If we really want to make this something that you can stick to, you need to be able to navigate places on the fly and know fatty foods are going to have more calories, so the leaner, the better. And when we're talking about sustainability, though, I know I'm not going to like never have a fatty food for the rest of my life, but in moderation. And what I would also say is you're probably better off getting a better quality fatty food, like going to a big restaurant. I say big girl restaurant versus fast food restaurant to get those types of things. And for me, I prefer to indulge in dessert more than chips. So like that's where I will be. But the other thing to keep in mind is the toppings. You might get your grilled chicken sandwich, which is going to be great. But are they throwing a whole bunch of mayo on there? Because that could be potentially an extra 30 to even 100 calories, depending on how much they put. Are there sauces on there? Do they have full fat bacon cooked in more grease and more cheese? Are they pouring more cheese on top? Are they frying the onions? Like, think about what is on there. That's why the veggies are your best bet. Fresh, because you know they haven't been tampered with extra fats or calories. So like that fresh lettuce, tomato, pickle, mustard, and vinegars, and salt and vinegars are your friends. So as far as toppings go, especially like Subway sandwiches, those types of things, you can load up on protein there. But for your sauces, the mayos, the Chipotle mayos, sorry, I love them too, but they are higher in calories. So either get them on the side and know what you're getting into, because typically it can be like 100 to 200 extra calories. You could think about doing oil, like a drizzle of olive oil, some vinegar, salt, and pepper. That's the Italian New Jersey way that I was brought up on. So to me, like, you can add so much flavor, and mustard has 0 calories. You don't need to load up on so much sauce. Now, especially when you're out to eat, if there is an option to customize your meal to create a healthier meal that's more tailored, 100% do that. Like, if you're gonna go get a burger, but you're wanting to mitigate the amount of carbohydrates you're getting, you might not want the bun. So what you could do then is do a lettuce wrap You could do a whole grain bun instead of regular buns. Gluten-free if you're gluten-free, but let's be honest, gluten-free buns are usually not as delicious and also usually the same calorie-wise from what I have seen. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend gluten-free unless you don't do gluten. But you could also do even like customizations, like half the bread, no top bun. Like you can customize like out the wazoo. And like I said, with toppings, avocado, spinach, tomatoes, onions, not cooked, not fried, just fresh onto the meal is going to add a lot of flavor for you and a lot of nutrients. Remember, you need vitamins and minerals too, not just protein and calories. Substitutions that you can make. We've talked about this a bunch already, honestly, but multigrain instead of like white bread, especially if you're at like brunch, something you could do is instead of like those omelets that come with that bunch of cheese and sausage, what you could do is make sure you get the one that's got like chicken or maybe like even leaner pieces of meat. You could say, like, to be honest with you, you just kind of have to have some balls when you're at the restaurant and ask questions and not be afraid to make the recommendations you need to make. So ask the waiter or server, make sure that you understand what you're getting into, and also make sure that you're really sticking up for yourself here, because I know a lot of issues is I don't want to be a nuisance for the restaurant. No, you're there, you're a paying customer, they want to feed you the way they want to feed you. So also with your dressings, I would say like low fat or light, but do not do like a no fat dressing, because there are water soluble vitamins and there are fat soluble vitamins, which means half the vitamins you need to have fat to ingest. So if you're trying to do no fat on your meal, you're likely not going to be able to digest and pick up those vitamins and minerals that are really essential. So low fat is good, but no fat is not great for dressings on your salads. Oil, vinegar, lemon juice, balsamic vinegar, salt, pepper, chef's kiss. That's my fave combo. And getting extra vegetables or a side salad instead of stuff like fries, onion rings, those are really going to save you calories. And try to limit that extra cheese, extra bacon, extra sauce, and the croutons in your salad, the fried onions, leave them off, or at least like pick some of them out and don't go full balls to the wall with that. Fresh herbs and spices are the best way to get some more food in you. So for our healthy meal examples, I have like 5 really popular restaurants and just one example from each, but you can use these tips to make sure that you are getting the best option at the fast food place. So keep in mind, it depends on your area, but like at Subway, one option they have, instead of doing, because I know I loved their Italian sub, instead of doing all that, because it does have a lot of protein, but it's also really heavy in sodium, really heavy in fat as well. So choosing the lighter protein like a chicken would be really good. If they do have sliced chicken that they can slice in front of you, that would be the best bet. Subway, I think, is already suspicious as it is, but if that's what you got and that's what we're working with, like an oven roasted chicken salad is so good there. Not for me, but for people that eat chicken. But you can do a bed of lettuce, spinach, mixed greens, and then you can do chicken breasts, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers. Load up on the veggies because they give you so much fiber and nutrients and water that you need. And then opt for the oil and vinegar dressing or light vinaigrette on the side over that chipotle mayo. Kim says Subway is sus, as the kids say. Yes, Subway is very sus. It is sus way, if you will. But Chick-fil-A, I know a lot of you ladies love Chick-fil-A, and myself included, but their grilled chicken sandwich is such a good option. They also have grilled nugs, some of the locations, so grilled chicken nuggets. That is your best bet, and they also offer a whole grain bun. I don't know if they do lettuce wraps, but that is something to look into if you want to not have as many carbs, but the whole grain can help with that as well. Again, lettuce, tomato, but skip the mayo or the Chick-fil-A sauce that's on the burger or on the sandwich and ask for it on the side. And then you can get your little packet of Chick-fil-A sauce and add on as much as you want to taste without getting all of those extra calories that you don't need. especially their honey mustard barbecue sauce. Like all of that stuff has so much extra calories that you just don't need. So the other thing, I know their waffle fries are so good, but a side salad is also very good. So think about that as well as an option. For Taco Bell, I'm gonna be honest, if you're going to Taco Bell, we're probably not there for health reasons. We're probably there because we're desperate or it's 3 a.m. So I will say like fresco style is typically the best option because they'll take off all the extra cheese and sour cream, which is a lot of that extra calories and fat, and instead the fresco style means they'll put on kind of like a pico, so it's still really flavorful. So you can get any item at Taco Bell and ask for it fresco style. That's my recommendation. But a specific item from Taco Bell that would work well is their fresco chicken soft tacos. They have soft corn tortillas, which are less calories. They're grilled chicken, which Taco Bell is sus, but grilled chicken, lettuce, tomato, and that fresco salsa. I think it's so good. And they're lower in calories and fat. So still, and you'll notice all of these are protein forward. One thing about Panera bread, I know the ladies love Panera, but I'm going to tell you right now, I am going to poop on Panera bread because I think a lot of their food is just kind of freezer food that you should avoid because a lot of it is just a bunch of filler, a bunch of extra fat and oil added for no reason, and I don't think the payoff is worth it, and I'm just gonna poop on Panera. But if you're a Panera girly, their veggie Mediterranean sandwich is perfect for this. You can add chicken, but roasted red peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, red onions, lettuce, feta, and hummus on a whole grain bread. I moved along too quick. On their whole grain bread. Or you can even opt for their half portion. I know Panera will do, I was gonna say Trader Joe's. I'm such a Trader Joe's girl at heart. But you can get it in a half portion too. They'll make you only the half of the sandwich. So that's another thing to consider at every one of these restaurants. But McDonald's will also, I've mentioned them a few times, they used to have a grilled chicken sandwich. I would think that would be sus, but their chicken fillet would be a great option. Not the McChicken because that's a fried piece of chicken, but a grilled chicken will be a lot better of an option. And you can get it with the lettuce, tomato, all the fixings, sauces on the side, and they have sliced apples that you could get at McDonald's too. Again, might be sus. I think any prepackaged fruit is a little sus to me, but anyway. Side salad instead of fries is great too. And instead of that sweet tea, which has, I don't even want to know how many grams of sugar, their unsweet tea is just fine and much lower in calories. So let's recap. Choose meals that have nutritional content. Like, don't just go get French fries and that's it. Try and get protein in every single meal. Be mindful of the portion sizes. Remember that just because they're serving it doesn't mean you need to eat the whole thing. Be conscientious about it. And use your hand as a reference if you don't have a scale to weigh things. Limit your additional sauces. Order them on the side. That's huge. Opt for beverages that are lower in calories and sugar. Unsweetened versus sweet tea. Not a milkshake, probably. And we're going with grilled proteins over fried. Grilled, baked, and that goes with your chips too. If there's a baked option, if they bake a potato rather than like frying French fries, like if you're at a sit-down restaurant, baked potato over French fries every time, every single time. And just a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt, you're good. You're so good. Prioritize lean protein and then make sure you're making smart substitutions for the meals that you're getting. So, my beauties, that is all that I have for you really today. For the girlies who are on my, you can see my slide, but this is really just kind of an advertisement for what you're already in. So let's divert to the Q&A portion of things. I'm going to stop sharing my screen to my girls on the call. And if anybody has any questions, I'll do about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how many questions there are. So I'm going to go all the way back up to the top on the Instagram. And, oh, hey, David's here. Hello from Dominican Republic. What's up? Kim. Oh, you're cracking me up. I'm glad to see Pascal. What's up, girl? I don't know if you're still here, but good to see you. Kim says, Kim's actually my client, funny enough, but she says the chicken burritos at Taco Bell are so good. Do you know what? I've never had Taco Bell's chicken stuff, so I really can't speak to it, but I'll take your word for that. I'm not sure what's in the chicken burrito, but if there's extra sauce, if they like smother it in their sauce. Taco Bell sauce though is like almost 0 calories, so like their hot sauces are great things to add to the food. But yes, any other questions you have, please drop in the chat. I'll stay on here for another few moments or so as you guys are typing questions. But a big thing to keep in mind, like, again, we don't want fast food to be the #1 source of all of your food and nutrients, but we understand it's going to happen. So it's better to plan ahead and think, well, just in case, what am I going to do? Instead of showing up and thinking you can't do anything and then just binge eating. Because you know that there's something you can do to stay on track anywhere you go. It just comes down to remaining disciplined and sticking to your plan. Remember, as Layla Hormozi says, F your mood, follow the plan. So I will leave you with that. I don't see any more questions here. So thank you for joining. I will have this posted to my Instagram page once this is done downloading. For my girlies here, this training will be, or it has been recorded. Oh no, did I not record? That is so bad. Anyway, I'm going to just redo it for you. But with that, I'm going to let you guys go, and I will see you next week. I will post a poll on my Instagram story for a topic for next week if we want to talk about tracking meals, or if there's another nutrition, or maybe even a training tip we haven't talked about, because we've done a lot of nutrition stuff. But I will talk to you ladies later. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next week, Friday, 12 p.m. Central Time.